Yeah, right? Don't wash your hand. Okay, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Doug. You talked the other day about wanting everybody here so you could send them away with your message for training camp, and they'd be able to think about that during the. So, what was that message?
It's really
What?
private message?
Really? It's private?
No, honestly, it's basically it's simple. It's number one is I appreciate, and I told them this just a second ago, that I appreciate all the hard work. This week, everybody was here the entire off season. That the guys were here. That I appreciate, their effort, their hard work, attention to detail. And then secondly, I basically just said, hey, enjoy the next 5.5 weeks. Spend time away from football, with your family. Spend time with them and friends, and then the third and probably the most important thing is get your mind ready to go. Get your mind right, these next couple of weeks, and that's just not players. I was talking to myself, coaching staff, everybody, because when we come back in July, we hit the ground running and we're ready to go.
The slogan on the T-shirts this year looks like it says "Everything Matters." What's the significance or backstory of that slogan?
Well, everything we do in life, and really anything we do in life, matters. And there's always you have choices and you get consequences to those choices. And so the decisions that we make sometimes matter. And so I feel like as a football team, as coaches, as players, even personnel, support staff, everybody in the organization, everything we do matters. It matters to winning games or losing games on the football field. So I just want to keep kind of reiterating that point with our team, and just getting them to understand that, if we jump off sides in practice, we're probably going to jump off sides in a game, right? If we don't do the little things right in practice, we won't do them in the game, and everything that we do matters.
Does that have any correlation to last season? I'm just asking because last year was embrace the target, obviously from the previous year.
Right.
Does that have any?
A little bit. But still, I think that it just comes to light now that we're on the brink of a new season, that you can kind of start fresh and start over and get ready to go for another season, and yet you can look back and learn from mistakes, you can learn from failures, you can learn from the successes, and so again, with that, everything that we do matters to how we perform, on game day.
What's the plan as of right now for Miles Sanders to have a significant role sort of right out of the chute? And what do you need to see during the summer in order to tell whether he's ready or not for that?
Yeah, number one, obviously it's going to be a little more difficult now that we're going on this vacation, on this break. But I fully expect him to come in ready, come in healthy, ready to go. We got to get him in the mix early. Definitely got to see exactly where he's at, mentally from all the mental reps that he took this spring, and slowly work him into the mix and see just how he can help us on game day.
Carson Wentz is back fully healed.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, he's had no limitations, all spring. And, just like I've said previously, we've monitored him just like we've done other players, and, he's looked good.
What's your a more detailed assessment of how you think he's performed having the full spring versus last year?
Well, yeah, number one, I think just, he's a little more, obviously, I would say, relaxed going into the spring, having some new weapons around him, bringing Deshaun in, being around him, being around the team, being around the guys, being here, showing his leadership. Those are all things that I've seen and what I've experienced with him, this spring, so in this off season, and looking forward to getting him back in July, and I know he's going to continue to work this summer and keep building for the regular season.
How much will it help to have a healthy Carson Wentz, ready to go, back, knee, everything's feeling great? How much will that help you guys and this offense and him personally?
Well, just go back to 2 years ago, when he came off his rookie season. He was healthy, he was ready to go. we started out and started well. And I think it's important. Every team in the league, I mean, as healthy as you can be going into training camp is a positive, and so, but having your quarterback healthy is definitely a positive for us. And all the work that he's gotten with our guys this spring is just going to pay dividends down the road.
We had the chance to talk to the assistants the other day. Press Taylor talked a little bit about what he thought some of the new kind of frontiers were in offensive football in the league down the road. What the way you guys kind of pushed the envelope on fourth down was an example. Over the last couple of years. What do you think is ahead? I mean, I would imagine you're thinking about this. What is the next thing we can exploit? What is the next wrinkle we can add? Do you have any kind of general thoughts?
Yeah, but I mean, listen, at the end of the day, football's football. They have 11, we have 11, and we got to line up properly, and you really, quite honestly, you're not gonna trick defenses. Defenses are not gonna trick offenses. That's just the nature of our game. But
trick the Patriots.
I mean, it tricked them, but from the standpoint of the situation of the game and when it was called, I mean, it caught them off guard. But I still think that teams now, I mean, you look at that. I mean, now we're guarded against plays like that. Obviously, our defense is prepared for plays like that. We're still looking for ways to be creative on offense with the tackle over stuff or, empty formations or whatever. But, at the end of the day, it's still ball. It's still ball, and I just don't think you're gonna do too much. One trick play a game, or one trick play every 3 or 4 games. Definitely won't define your season unless it's in the Super Bowl.
It seems to us like Carson and Deshaun have sort of been very much on the same page throughout the spring on the field. Have you been pleasantly surprised at all how quickly that seems to have happened?
Not really. I mean, 2 veteran players. It's a compliment to Deshaun for spending the offseason here and getting to know Carson. Not only personally, but on the football field. And, just even some of the extra time they've spent after practice, working some routes and doing some things to be on the same page. So still working through some things with those 2, but made a lot of progress, this spring.
Doug, has there been like a player or maybe a group of players who've kind of surprised you the most during the spring practices and stuff like that? I mean, as far as maybe someone you didn't expect to.
Yeah, there's several guys. I mean, just don't want to single out one or two, but I can say this. I've been impressed with the way Dallas came back and approached the offseason. Avonte Maddox came back and approached the offseason. I think Josh Sweat's in a great place right now. Even some of the injured guys, Derek Barnett, the way he's worked, Darby, the way he's worked, Rodney. These guys have all, Carson, these guys have all come back with an eagerness. Zach Ertz, I mean, this guy is a pro's pro, the way he attacks just the offseason. And it's like, week 9 for him. Everything, when I say everything matters with Zach Ertz, that's what I'm talking about. Everything matters with him. So, and there's several others, but just to name a few.
Zach said you sent him home to watch his wife play. Is that your idea? Did someone
I wanted to watch the game. No, it was. I mean, listen. When these things come up, and it's like I said. I've said this before that you don't get these times back, and it's a big event not only for our country and USA and all that, but his wife is on the team, and I thought it was important that he had a chance to watch that game.
There's always turnover in this league. Obviously, you lose veteran players, Nick, Chris. You've had everybody for the spring. Have any of the young players kind of stepped up in a leadership role?
I haven't seen quite that yet. I think they're still kind of feeling their way just a little bit, with the playbook. I do expect though once we get into training camp that some of these younger players take a little bit more of that leadership role. It's on each player really to motivate themselves, but to really come in that into camp with that frame of mind that I can take another step, not only on the football field, but I think in a leadership role with the team.
So you guys, 2 years ago, you were pretty much underdogs a lot. This year, you probably won't be. Team can handle that.
Yeah, I think so. The experiences we've had these last couple of seasons, a veteran group of guys, and that's important to have guys that have gone through it. Veteran players that have gone through it that understand it. I think that's so important, and so I think whatever we face, this season, we'll be up for it and ready for that challenge. 24th.
Our rookie's coming earlier.